Good evening, councillors, staff and members of the public. I declare the Ordinary Council meeting on the 23rd of February 2022 open at 5:30 p.m. Could everyone please stand, please? I wish to acknowledge the Gadigal people as the traditional custodians of the land that we are meeting on and recognise their strength, resilience and pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging. Thank you. Item number 3. The audio of this meeting has been recorded to facilitate community participation for minute-taking purposes, which may be released upon request to third parties. In accordance with Clause 616, the Town of Port Hedland Standing Orders Local Law 2014, members of the public are not permitted to use any visual or audio electronic device or instrument to record the proceedings of any meeting unless that person has been given permission by the presiding member to do so. Members of the public are also reminded that in accordance with Clause 617-4 of the Standing Orders, mobile phones must be switched off and not be used during the meeting. 3.1. Attendance. I note the following councillors are present and attendance will be listed under 3.1 of the minutes. 3.2. Attendance by telephone, intertenancy communication, there is nil. 3.3. Apologies, there is nil. 3.4. Approved leave of absence, there is nil. 3.5. Disclosure of interest. Are there any disclosure of interest, councillors? Okay. Councillor Bennett, we have one from Councillor Bennett for item number 11.2.3, impartiality interest. One from Councillor Turner, 11.2.5, impartiality. One from Councillor Christensen on items number 11.2.3 and 11.2.4, impartialities. And one from Renee Councillor Coles, 11.2.3 and was impartiality, and 11.2.4, impartiality. Financial? Impartiality, got both there, okay. And Councillor Zielke for item number 11.3.2, financial. Thank you, councillors. Sorry, councillor.
Through the chair, 11.2.3 and 11.2.4, impartiality on both those.
Both of those? Yeah. Okay, thank you, Councillor Gillingham.
Meg Carter, through
yes.
the chair, also to myself, it's financial, for both of those ones, please.
Okay, we'll knock those as financial, not impartiality. Yep. Okay, thank you. Okay, Councillor Gillingham's all done. Yep. Okay, thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Thank you, councillors. Okay, item number 4, application for approval of absence. CEO, do we have any approval of absence at all?
We have 2 requests for leave of absence, one from Councillor Eckhart for the 15th of April to the 25th of April inclusive, and one for Councillor Bennett, apologies, for 2 periods, the 2nd of March to the 7th of March and the 8th of April through to the 19th of April.
Thank you. Thank you, CEO. Can I have a mover, please, for Councillor Bennett's? Councillor Turner. Thank you, Councillor Turner. Seconder, please, Councillor Zielke. Thank you, Councillor Zielke. Can I have a mover, please, for Councillor Gillingham? Thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Bennett. Thank you. All those in favour, show of hands. Motion is carried 8-0. Thank you. Item number 5, response to previous questions. Response to previous questions received at a special council meeting on the ordinary council meeting held on the 15th of December 2021 have been provided to individuals and are detailed in the agenda. Item 6, public time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your opportunity of members of the public to ask questions of council. Clause 6.7-3 of the Town of Port Hedland Standing Orders Local Law requires members of the public wishing to ask a question to complete the question form placed in the completed tray which is provided. If the presiding member determines that the questions and statements are out of order due to offensive or objectionable expressions or defamatory, they will not be considered, recorded or responded to. 6.1 public question time. I declare public question time open at 5:35 p.m. Mr. CEO, do you have any questions at all?
I've received none, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, CEO. Members of the public, do you have any questions at all? Can you please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please?
Good evening. My name is Lorraine Butson, 50 Green Place, South Headland. My first question is the Mayor declaring an interest in item 11.3.4 and 11.3.5 due to being the director of a member of the Columbia Aboriginal Corporation and the CEO of the Kariyarra Aboriginal Corporations Associated of the Carter team?
No, I won't be. Thank you.
My second question is, did the Mayor Carter put a proposal to Council for a $5 million interest-free loan to a business person in Headland? Number two, is the same business interest for free loans going to be offered to all business people in Headland? And is this consistent with the Local Government Act and consideration of ratepayers? Thank you.
No, thank you. Yeah, the answer is no to those questions. Thank you. Do you have any more public questions at all? Thank you, Gloria. Can we come forward, state your name and address for the record, please?
Gloria Jacobs, 76 Sutherland Street, Port Hedland. Can the council please explain why the ordinary council meeting as listed in the approved schedule of meetings released to the community in November 2021, scheduled for Wednesday the 2nd of February 22 was not held? And further explain why communication of its cancellation was not provided to the community.
CEO.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The reason for cancellation was no business requiring council decision or consideration at that time, and it was put on our Facebook page and website in terms of advertising, but it's probably too late for a formal notice in the paper.
Given the council provides community notices, and I have seen community notices come out the day before or even on the day of occurrences, I believe that the formal method of notice is generally through your media statements on your community notices, and why that process wasn't a standard process followed would be my next question.
Yeah, I'm happy to take that one on board as something we didn't do at the time. Thank you for the feedback. We'll do better next time.
Thank you, CEO.
Okay. Can the CEO please confirm if the town attended the creditors' meeting relating to the Port Hedland Yacht Club? And if so, provide an update from the creditors' meeting held yesterday.
There was a creditors' meeting today. It's only recently finished. I believe the Director of Corporate Services was present for that, representing the town. I'm not sure we're in a position to necessarily release information on that at this point in time, but happy to refer to the Director.
Thank you, CEO. Through the Chair. There's not too much that I can report. There was the first creditors' meeting at 4 o'clock this afternoon, so it was only just not a short while ago. I guess the few key details that I can actually just share is that the administrators that have been appointed are, I may pronounce this incorrectly, but Auxilium Partners from Perth, and the administrator is Robert Jacobs. It was a voluntary administration, and the first creditors meeting today
Just a follow-on from that, thanks Director, I appreciate that. If you could confirm the amount owed by the yacht club to the town.
The balance at the moment is just over 300,000.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much.
Do we have any more public questions at all? Yes, can I please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please.
Camilo Blanco, 18 Harwell Way, Wedgfield. At the December meeting, I listened to an extraordinary outburst by Councillor Eckard and asked, how is it repugnant, as he puts it, to ask questions about serious financial failures of this council and administration in relation to local businesses losing upwards of $4 million in the MJW collapse? And is this a new standard to ignore the obvious by this council?
No, it's not. Next question.
Are you going to refer that question to Councillor Eckard, or are you going to answer on his behalf?
I can answer on his behalf, that's fine, thank you. Next question, please.
In December, I talked about tenders not being awarded and tender avoidance issues in relation to MJW and the projects that had been awarded to them. In tonight's agenda, in 11.4.1, it states the scope of this tender is to complete the construction works left unfinished as a result of the insolvency event. So is the council aware of the inconsistencies in 11.4.1 in awarding of a completion tender for the JD, considering that after MJW collapsed, work was done on the structure at the basketball courts or netball courts? Or again, are you just ignoring this as a council? No, that's not a question for the administration, that's a question for the council.
I'm happy to respond to it, yeah.
Now, I know you're going to pass it on to the CEO. That's a question for you. It's a
Answer-
financial question.
It's fine, okay? We're happy the way things are, can I? Thank you. Next question.
Well, no answer on that one. Do you understand the question? The response is that the works were completed as emergency works because we had an approaching cyclone season. And
I'm
not
interested in the CEO's response. I'm interested in
Next
knowing
question.
whether the council understands the
Camilo,
question.
next question, please. Thank you. It's your last question. Thank you.
The previous question asker asked multiple questions, so you're discriminating against me again.
Continue, please. You have one more question to go. Thank you.
In the December meeting, Mr. Higgins asked about information that had been provided to councillors and the CEO in relation to serious misconduct by Mayor Carter. The Chief Executive Officer confirmed he'd received the information. The CEO advised he did not forward that information to the appropriate authorities as required by legislation. And I'm assuming now that he still has not forwarded that information on to the appropriate authorities. Am I correct? It's an assumption. Am I correct?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You're correct. The information
Okay,
has
thank
already
you.
been provided to that relevant agency.
By myself, not by you. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you, Camillo. That's three.
No,
Camillo, that's three questions. Thank you.
the,
Camillo, please
the
sit down.
follow-on
Camillo,
question to
Camillo,
that
you've had three questions.
is that the
Camillo,
new standard for
Camillo,
this council
sit down,
to
please.
ignore
Camillo, sit down. You've had three
those
questions.
serious issues?
Camillo, I'll ask you to leave the room if you don't sit down. Sit down, please.
Can you answer that question?
Sit down.
Can you answer the question?
Sit down. You've had three questions. Sit down.
The previous
Sit
question.
down, Camillo. You've had three questions, okay? Sit down. Thank you.
Okay.
Move forward. Any more people? Questions, please? No, thank you. Camillo, sit down.
The legislation,
Camillo, sit down.
the local government legislation
Sit
says
down.
question
Sit
time
down.
will be a minimum of
Sit down.
15
You've
minutes.
had your three questions. Thank
15
you.
minutes has not
You've
passed
had your three
yet.
questions. Please, we'll move on.
Are
Thank
you ignoring the Local
Move on.
Government Act legislation?
Camillo, sit down. Sit
Are
down.
you ignoring it? Get advice off your CEO.
Sit down.
Get
Sit down.
advice.
I don't need it. Sit down, please. Sit down. I'll move forward. Thank you. Okay, I'll finish public question time at 5:46 p.m. Item number 6.2, public statement time. Do you have any public statements at all, please? Okay, can you please come forward, state your address for the record, please? Thanks, Gloria.
It pains me to see the ongoings here in a forum that should allow community speech. This is the one time, public question time and public statement time, that the community actually has access to administration and councillors of who they've voted to ask questions, to make statements and to in essence get a clearer understanding of, to ensure that their voices are heard by yourselves, all of you, administration and council. And if we had a trusting relationship between council and community, it wouldn't be so confrontational. Good, bad or ugly, I think question time is an expression of people wanting some answers. And I don't think it's something to be feared. I actually think it's your time to shine, or your time to show that you're not shining. So, you know, as much as I appreciate legislation, I also appreciate that the community have a right to ask questions of everyone here, and the community have a right to make statements relating to their understandings and ask for clarification. So on that basis, that's not what I came up to stand, but that's every time I want to make a public statement, I'm actually precluded by actions. So look, that's just a statement that I would make, that both of those items on the agenda are there for community to communicate with yourselves. My public statements in relation to item 11.1.4, council vacancy, office of councillor. My statement is to request councillors to act transparently and responsibly, and to vote for option 1 in the officer's recommendation 2 of that item. With all due respect to the officer who wrote the report, the report lacks a little bit of content, especially around the pros and cons. They're very ambiguous and somewhat lean towards the cons, which are all cost related. So if I may read from the report, there are pros and cons to each of the options above, including the expertise of an elected member. Oh, let's just look at the cons. The saving of resources members' fees and allowances, approximately 50,000. The cost of an election estimated at 80,000. The additional cost of induction and informal training of the new elected member. God forbid we don't provide training to councillors, and one would hope that the thinking does not apply to staff. Seriously, training is not an expense, it's an asset building expense. It's actually investing in people that hold offices and people in people's capacity. We should never discount training. But look, I mean, I guess when we talk about the pros and cons, cost is a factor, but it's not the deciding. The pros, there was one mention there of the challenge of an even number of councillors in relation to voting and the use of the presiding member's casting vote. There is 9 councillors, including the mayor. The reason why the number is odd is to make it fair and accountable decision-making process and voting. To not replace the exiting councillor would be an unfair and unresponsible vote. It's really important that the level of significance for the council to call an election, as mentioned, is of high significance, and not only because the decision will affect a wide range of people, but because, again, it will result in fair decision-making and good governance. It is what the community is calling for. It is what we, as a democratic office, should be calling for. Cost is insignificant and not high significance. The risk, should this council not choose to support option 1, is that we perpetuate the perception of a council without good leadership and one that is self-protecting and may be divided. To give the presiding member, who has brought so much disrespect and caused so much harm to the reputation of the mayor's office and the town, will be a travesty beyond all understanding and reason. Councillors, the community have shown faith by putting you where you sit. This is not a judgment on a personal attack. This is actually a call for there to be a democratic process that is fair and results in good governance. One person, irrespective, and in this case it's the presiding member, should not have the casting vote when he is inside of the voting process initially. And if people don't see that that's an unfair solution, then well, it is an unfair solution. You don't need to see it. It is what it is. So I request that you all vote fairly and openly and with due, and I'm sure you've all given due consideration, but I just implore you to vote for option 1.
Thank you. Do we have any more public statements at all? Yes, come out there. Please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, Blanco, Harwin Way, Wedgfield. And I have to agree with the previous speaker. Some great points, the sort of thing that I wanted to talk about tonight as well. But I just want to go off track a little bit and talk about the reasons why I come to council and ask hard questions that nobody else asks. And, you know, some of the things that I've seen over the past 6 months and, you know, the evidence that, you know, I've compiled on certain things, it takes me back to the all of the reports that I've read into local government dismissals and you know, standing downs and all of that sort of stuff. And the Inquirer always went through the public question time, public statement time. They have a look at that and they reflect on what is actually happening within the council and what the public knows about what's going on. And it's mentioned quite deeply in those reports. And I've mentioned that to you guys many times. It's actually a really good way of finding out how local government works and what the rules are when you're sitting in those seats. So, because I'm asking these questions, if there was ever an inquiry into what's going on in this council currently with, you know, major collapses in, you know, 10 of people that have been awarded tenders and companies and stuff like that, millions of dollars being lost to, you know, local businesses because of the actions of, you know, the local government. They have a look at these public questions and statements and they take them into consideration very seriously. And what they do is they say, well, okay, the public's been asking these questions. And clearly they haven't been answered by the mayor or the council members. Now the rules state that, you know, and you can overrule the mayor at any time, okay? Motion of dissent, we overrule his decision. Turn it around and, yes, we want to answer that question. Or your standing orders state, if he can't answer it, he should pass it on to a council member. And if the council member can't answer it, then it goes to the CEO, because this forum is for the people to engage with the council and then the council to ensure that that message is taken to the administration. That's how it works. And you clearly are not doing that. And the people of Port Hedland are being obstructed by this current mayor. It's plain to see. Now, in reference to the vacancy of the council member, I know what you're all thinking, you know, is he going to run? Oh, geez, I would have lots of fun. But one thing that stands out in the officer's recommendation, 4.8 in the legislation says you are required to have an extraordinary election. It doesn't say you may have one, it says you are required to have one. And it doesn't say that it's by absolute majority. Okay, it's a simple majority vote. You are required to have one. Now, obviously, the administration will probably disagree with me, but the legislation is quite clear. Because if you have a look at the legislation itself, talks 4.173. If you know how to read legislation, it will say, where are we? Here it is. It says, 3, if a council officer becomes vacant under section 2.3.2 and under section 4, you must understand what those two sections mean, this subsection applies. The council may, with the approval of the Electoral Commission, allow and then allow, the word allow has an asterisk next to it. That means it's an absolute majority. So, to not have an election, you need an absolute majority vote. And that's what you have in your document, all right? If you want to refuse the election, you've got to do it by absolute majority. But to allow the election, simple majority vote, okay? It's not an absolute majority. Now, the reason I tell you that is because it's clear that the mayor has a voting bloc, okay? There's no point looking at me funny about it. He's all on his electoral, advertising. When you did the election, it's clear that you vote in that block. So, by allowing an absolute majority in the item to allow an election, which you're supposed to do, in my opinion, the item 1, by leaving the absolute majority there, creates a disadvantage to that item because of the way you guys vote. Okay? So, you may understand it, you may not, but again, the reason I say these things is because if something happens to this council and you're dismissed or, there's an investigation, they look at these public question times and statement times. And then they'll determine, well, was that guy correct? And why wasn't there any advice given to the council? Or why didn't the council request any advice? That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Carl. Do we have any more public statements at all? Okay, I will close public statement time at 2 minutes past 6. 6.3, petition interpretations, presentation and submissions. We have received one request for a deputation. The application is received in accordance with Standing Orders 6.10. Mr Nick Green on behalf of the Garryarra Aboriginal Corporation to items 11.3.4 and 11.3.5 in the agenda. Mr Green, I invite you to come forward and address the council for up to 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Carter. I'd like to acknowledge the Garryarra people, past, present and emerging, as well as the town of Port Hedland for embracing the opportunity to have an ILUA with the Garryarra people. I'd also like to acknowledge the Mayor, councillors, Mr Askew, staff and members of the public behind me, as well as my colleague, Mr Frank Brown. We see this opportunity of having an Indigenous land use agreement between the Garryarra people and the town of Port Hedland as an incredible chance to try and get it right. We see this as a recipe for a good relationship between the town, between business and between the Garryarra people. As you're probably aware, the Garryarra people entered into an agreement with the state of Western Australia in 2016, which has delivered very little back to the people, the traditional owners of this town. In fact, I think it's fair to say, generally, and this has nothing to do with the present council, has to do with history, the Garryarra people have been seen, or not seen, I should say, by a lot of people in this community for many, many years. BHP has been in this town for over 60 years, and the Garryarra people, as an identified group of people, have received very little in way of tangible benefits from that company. Recent times with native title, post the Native Title Act and post the Garryarra people's determination of native title in 2018, we've seen a change amongst our business partners. BHP is changing. We've seen investment from Roy Hill, from FMG, and from other smaller companies and businesses in this community. The Garryarra people's country is the same size as the country of Moldova in Eastern Europe, which has 2.5 million people living there. Our people represent 400 Aboriginal people in this community. And the reality for Karriara people is they are largely unseen. There are lots of Aboriginal people that live in this community. There are people from other language groups, from the desert, from elsewhere. And there are lots of Aboriginal groups who've got good business opportunities, who work with big business, who've got occupations and employment, and largely the Karriara people don't. It's an interesting conundrum for me, having been in this position since, where are we, May 2021, to try and understand why this has happened, why the Karriara people are largely unseen in our community. And I guess the answer is this: they're pretty quiet people. They don't jump up and down generally. They don't assert themselves largely. They know their business, they go about their business, and they quietly get on with their business. But they are the traditional owners of the land that we are standing on, the land where this civic centre was built on, and the land where Port Hedland and South Hedland was constructed on, and the land and sea which embraces the biggest iron ore port in the world. So I think it's really important that we give them a break. We give them a chance to grow, to have the same opportunities as other people in this community. And I guess the point about this ILUA, this MOU, is this is the first step from the town of Port Hedland to create that opportunity, and I embrace that. And I thank the staff of this council, I thank the councillors for embracing this opportunity. This ILUA will go a long way in settling, I guess, past concerns and past issues, and will create some certainty for all parties. And that certainty means that the Karriara people can achieve some sort of socio-economic growth and benefit, and cash in on opportunities that might present to them. It'll create certainty for them. It'll help protect their heritage and their cultural heritage values in this town. And it will provide better outcomes for Karriara people. But that relationship is a two-way street. The same will happen for business. The same will happen for council opportunities, development works that need to be done, remedial works, in having that understanding where we have a relationship between two parties. And this has not occurred with any previous council in this town, to my knowledge. The only other ILUA that exists, as I said, is the one that the state entered into in 2016 under the previous Liberal government, and that was a hollow log for the Karriara people. It delivered nothing, in my opinion. It delivered a few parcels of land that you can't redevelop. You can't sell them, they're not really good assets, and it didn't develop any economic benefits for my people that I represent tonight. So I've heard a lot about complaints tonight from members of the public. I guess I want to say that as far as my people are concerned, the Karriara people that I'm representing here tonight, keep doing what you're doing with the Karriara people in a positive light. This ILUA will create better opportunities and a better understanding for all of the parties, and I thank the council for embracing that opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Greenleaf. Item number 7, questions from members without notice. Are there any questions related to members at all? Yes, Councillor Turner.
I'm aware that community space for community organisations is at a premium. We have a number of challenges, including space for the Hedland Toy Library, the cancer support group Reach Us, and there's more than others that are looking for community space. So my question to Town of Port Hedland is, can we initiate an audit of community space that is available and look at the options needed to support these non-profit groups and what might be available both in the short term and then in the context of our process around master planning. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Turner. Any more questions from members of the public? Yes, Councillor Gillingham.
Yes, thank you. Through the chair, I thank the public for coming tonight and enlightening us on everything that they asked. The questions are very, very important. My question, which was answered in the few meetings ago, regarding the trees that were cut down, it's in the answer is in the front there, Mayor, is that it says there rather to they've cut the trees down because they were the coffee trees. I'm not sure if any of the personnel that cut the trees down checked first whether there were any bird nestings in those trees, but I know that there's a lot of birds in the area, seabirds, young seabirds, etc. Do hover around there, gives a lot of shade for them. So the answer in the questions were that there, at a later date, some trees will be planted there. So I would like to ask through the council, I think the sooner the better. And I know that when it comes to trees growing in our town, you just have to throw a few seeds down here and there with poincianas or neem trees or lots of those sort of trees which are pretty okay for the area. The same that coffee trees are not suitable for the area. I know that they're a form of an acacia tree. The kids all like to shake the seed pods and make rain funnels with them. But I'd like the council to please, sooner than later, to plant some trees down there for our wildlife, for our fauna, also for the flora to grow a little bit more in that area. At the roundabout, I'm talking about the roundabout at at Cook Point Drive, Athol Street, McGregor Street there, across the road there. So it's just that, you know, we need to look after these coastal plains, and I know I harp onto it quite a bit, but it is a really important area, and when those trees were just bulldozed down, those birds didn't have any shade at all in the beginning of the very, very, very hot weather. So I would like the council to please take it on board that sooner than later can we please start throwing some seeds down there, because you know, I've got quite a few seeds. I'll probably throw them down there myself because the wind carries them anyway. So please, can we look into that through the chair?
Okay. Thank you again, Councillor. We will. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I do hope so. And also, my second question is, time is moving on when it comes to Stephen Street Retirement Village. Nothing is being done for our senior people in this town. There's a lot of senior people in private government housing, and they're pretty well over the age of 65 years of age now, so they've really gone into their retirement area there. They're not being given any help whatsoever as being a senior in this town. A lot more needs to be done for our Stephen Street, and this needs to be fast-tracked, and council really needs to take this on board. Everybody around this table needs to take this on board as soon as possible. Our state government is saying that they're not going to be building any houses. I think we've been promised about 4 houses from the state government this year, government houses, and then we're hearing that no houses in the public sector have been built for at least 15 years in Port and South Hedland. A lot of grow houses, G-R-O-H, meaning the public is not government. That's not the public government housing, that is the people who work in these government buildings. They have got accommodation, but we really need to fast track things for not only the Stephen Street people, retirement people, but also for the general public in our town. And this is really important, and we really need to keep harping on to the state government about this, and it needs to be as soon as possible, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Put that on notice. Thank you. Do you have any more public questions for councillors? Councillor Coles.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just like to welcome everyone for coming here tonight. Thank you so much for finding the time to speak up and have this say. Without you guys coming in and finding the time to actually educate us, it's something that, you know, I'm grateful that, you know, to take that time and effort to come up. It's very daunting to stand there in front of everyone, and I thank you very much for taking that time out. First question I've got, I've been asked about the ditches of water currently residing in around South Hedland, Port Hedland and Wedgfield. Is there a plan for these ditches to be drained or to get the water moved on due because of the mosquito-borne diseases it might carry coming into this COVID situation. There's a lot of people who are a little bit antsy about it at the moment. The second question, COVID. Do COVID cases get reported to the town of Port Hedland, and do we know if there's any active COVID cases here in the town at present?
Well, thank you, Councillor Cole. Your first question, I might hand over to Director Lee. You can...
Thank you, Mr Mayor. We have sprayed extensively for mosquitoes, and we are pumping water out of the Pretty Pool area.
Thank you.
Sorry, Lee, just through the chair.
Mosquitoes for Craig?
Sorry, through the Chair, in relation to COVID cases in town, we've not been formally advised by WA Country Health Services of any cases in town. We had a meeting with them today where they confirmed that they're not actually providing detailed advice of cases. That's now a health department, I suppose, direction that they're taking.
Mosquitoes, Craig? Sorry, mosquitoes?
Yes, through the Chair, we have been undertaking a fair amount of larviciding work, so we actually treat the water that's standing to kill off the mosquitoes before they become adults, for want of a better term. And I know that my environmental health team have been out doing fogging most mornings as well to reduce nuisance numbers. So they are actively out in the community undertaking work to minimise mosquito breeding and emergence of adult mosquitoes.
Okay, thank you. Does that answer your question, Councillor?
Sorry, just one more. Has Cottier Drive intersection been done? Just that there's a few people that reside around the area that are saying that they can't sit outside their house at night time because they're constantly getting bitten. So I'm just wondering if that pool water where the new drainage system was put in is actually quite deep, full of water, and they're a little bit, you know, they just can't sit outside at night time. Sorry.
Yeah, through the Chair, I expect it will have been, but I'll confirm that tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Craig. Thank you, Councillor. Any more councillors' questions at all? Okay, thank you. Yeah. Do you have a statement now?
Yeah, I'd just like to make a statement, just to update the council and also the community. Last week on the 17th, I attended the Pilbara Zone meeting. That is a meeting of local government that sits across, that includes all 4 shires, East Pilbara, City of Karratha, Ashburton and ourselves. At that meeting, I moved a motion to address issues of community safety, asking that through WOLGA that we engage the state government to review the status that sits across the Pilbara in relation to what I consider much needed investment and additional resources. That would include policing and early interventions and other initiatives. And that was on the basis that if you look at some of the political commentary coming from both the federal and state government, there's a focus on the Kimberley. And whilst Kimberley has significant challenges, we also have significant challenges. And by moving the motion, this elevates the discussion and provides a mechanism for engagement so that we can start to, I would hope, get some parity across the northwest in terms of resources available. So it was a good meeting. It was well supported by all the shires, and it reflects an ongoing commitment that we need to make to, you know, go towards the livability, the safety and sustainability of our town. So that it will be ongoing, and we will follow that up, and I will keep the council updated and the committee updated as we progress those developments.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Turner. Do you have any more? Okay, item number 8, announcement by presiding member without discussion. The presiding members meeting for the month of January 2022 are detailed in the agenda and printed into the minutes. Item number 9, declaration from all members have due consideration to all matters contained in the business paper before the meeting. I invite all elected members to declare by a show of hands that they have given due consideration to all matters contained within the agenda. Have a show of hands, please. Yep. Thank you, councillors. Item number 10, confirmation of minutes of a previous meeting. We have office recommendation before to confirm the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on Wednesday, the 15th of December 2021 are a true and a correct record. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Turner. Thank you, Councillor Turner. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor... Okay. Yeah, are there any questions? Is anyone against the motion? This motion is not opposed. I declare it carried unanimously. 8-0. We have office recommendation before us to confirm the minutes of the special council meeting held on the 15th of December 2021 are true and a correct record. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Zilke, thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Bennett, thank you. Is anyone against the motion? Thank you. As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried unanimously 8-0. Before we move to the reports of officers, I remind members of the public not to take any action on council decision on items on this evening's agenda, which they may have an interest in, until formally notified in writing by the town has been received. Decisions made at this meeting can be revoked in line with the Local Government Act 1995. Before we continue to item 11's reports from officers, I moved that item 11.3.4, Memorandum of Understanding with Garryarda Corporation, and 11.3.5, Indigenous Land Use with Garryarda Corporation, be considered as the next item of business. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Zilke, thank you. Can I have a seconder? Seconder, Councillor Turner. Are there any questions? Is anyone against the motion? Okay, as the motion is not carried, I declare it carried without debate. Thank you. We have an office recommendation that council endorse the Chief Executive Office to a mandatory understanding with the Garryarda Corporation as per attachment 1. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Zilke, thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Okay, we can make an alteration on that. To sign? Yeah. To sign. Thank you for that. Okay, so who was our mover for that one? Councillor. It's Councillor Zilke. Second was Councillor. Councillor Eckhart, yep. Is anyone against the motion? As the motion not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. Yeah, okay. We have office recommendations that council, 1, authorise the Chief Executive Officer to enter into a preliminary agreement to enter an Indigenous land use agreement with the Garryarda Corporation, sustainably in accordance with attachment 1, and 2, authorise the Chief Executive Officer to enter an Indigenous land use agreement with the Garryarda Corporation with the Minister of Lands and Sustainable in accordance with attachment number 2. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Zilke, thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Christensen, thank you. Are there any questions? Is anyone against the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. We're now on to item number 11, reports from officers. The term en bloc is used to describe a practice of adopting recommendations of a committee or a number of officers' recommendation, but the use of only one resolution or adoption of recommendation in groups without separate resolution for each item. The practice of adopting recommendations en bloc expledes a resolution of business and meeting where elected members have no reason to disagree with particular recommendations, where there are no declarations of interest and where a simple majority vote is required. Councillors are supposed to consider a number of recommendations tonight en bloc. I will go through each item one at a time so you can advise me which ones you want to take out, consider separately, or due consideration of interest as need to be for the debate. It's item number 11.1.2, simple majority, 11.1.6, simple majority, 11.1.7, simple majority, 11.1.8, simple majority, 11.2.2, simple majority, 11.2.2, simple majority, 11.2.3 is taken out.
Sorry, through the chair.
Yeah.
Have we received motion of this ourselves prior to this today coming in? Or to hear these come just from, I just can't physically see it in front of us, can I?
There it is. Okay, I'll continue on. 11.3.1, 11.3.3 and 11.5.1, all simple majority votes. We've deleted number 11.2.3 and 11.2.4 and 11.3.2 out of that equation. Any others to take? Can I please have a mover to endorse the recommendations with the exception of the above items?
Can we just pause the proceedings of 2 seconds so I can just revise it, please?
Yeah, okay, Councillor? Yes, can I have a mover, please? Move, thank you, Councillor Turner. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Christensen, thank you. Are there any questions? All those in favour,
Yes,
show of
I do have
hands.
a question, Your Worship. Through
Yes,
the Chair. I would really like it noted that we are seeing this for the first time at this meeting.
Okay, thank you, Councillor.
Can we please get something like this a lot earlier than at the time?
Yeah, certainly, Councillor. Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Okay, all those in favour, show of hands. Thank you. Motion is carried 8-0. Okay, 11.1.1, adoption of the 2021-22 budget mid-year review. We have two office recommendations before us. The first one being that Council adopts and revises the 2021-22 budget base on result for the period ending December 31, 2021, with the resulting projected municipal surplus as June 30, 2022 of $155,000. Can I have a mover, please? Move, Councillor Zilke. Thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Turner. Thank you. Are there any questions? Is anyone against the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. The second officer's recommendation that Council grants additional concession to relation to a late applicant for the 2021-22 rate charges of $86,150 listed in the attachment schedule, attachment number 2, pursuant to the section 6.47 of the Local Government Act 1995. The Rates and Charges Rebate Deferments Act 1992 and Council Policy 2-014 Rates Concession Policy Rebate of Land. Can I have a mover, please? Move, Councillor Zilke, thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Gillingham, thank you. Are there any questions? Is there any against the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. 11.1.3, the adoption of the Town of Port Hedland Amendment Waste Local Law. We have an office recommendation before us that Council adopts the Town of Port Hedland Waste Amendment Law 2022 and gives a public notice as outlined in the report. Can I have a mover, please? Move Councillor Bennett, thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Zilke, thank you. Are there any questions? Is anyone against the motion? And as the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. (11.1.4) Council Vacancy Office of Councillor. We have two recommendations before us. The first being that Council notes the resignation of Councillor Warren McDonough for his position as Councillor of the Town of Port Hedland and thank him for his service and contribution. Can I have a mover, please?
Point of clarification, please.
Yes.
I'd like to ask, through the chair, Mr. Warren McDonough was a previous councillor when the council and council members and mayor was dismissed, stepped down, whatever you would like to call it. I would like to move this motion with another point in here, if I may, through the chair, and that would be to include a civic reception for Mr. Warren McDonough and councillors that were part of the dismissal, where we had a commissioner coming in for our council, because these councillors that were dismissed and Mr. McDonough was part of that council at the time have not been given a civic reception of thanks for their time, efforts, years of service, hours of service. And so with this in mind, I would like a point 3 put into that recommendation, and I'm happy to move that recommendation too. So I'm happy for guidance with wording for a point 3 to be inserted, please.
Thank you, Councillor Gillingham.
Yes, that were dismissed because of a resignation by, at the time, Councillor Peter Carter, which resulted in the council having to be dismissed or stepped down. Mr. Warren McDonough was a councillor at the time, so it would include him and the councillors that remained on that council. And I believe that some councillors, their time was also up just before the councillors were stepped down. So that's something which I guess the names might need to be clarified through the chair.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Gillingham.
I guess that through the chair, that would probably be suitable. Thank you very much. I really feel as that we need to.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gillingham, for that. Thank you. Okay, can I have a seconder, please, on that other item? Thank you, Councillor Coles. Thank you. Are there any questions? Is anyone against that motion? Against the motion? Okay. Thank you, Councillor Turner. Okay, I'll now give it to Councillor Gillingham, the mover, to speak for the motion.
Yes, thank you. Look, this is from all my years of knowing council, other councils, to be recognised for your time on council, no matter how small or how large a time that somebody has been on council, is to first thank Mr. Warren McDonough for his services of being on council during that time previous to the dismissal, and also for the time that he was elected back on through the election process, which is an honour in itself to be elected back on, because it's the people that speak. And I've attended numerous receptions for councillors that have finished their time, they finished their service, long time service, and I myself was part of a civic reception when I had left council in 2017, and it's quite an honour bestowed to be actually part of a council. So the councillors previous that were in dismissal, under the dismissal, is no fault of their own. And I do feel as if those councillors have been deprived of the honour to be bestowed on them as part of being part of this council, and the efforts and the hard work and everything that they had done, so leading up to that time. So it was no fault of their own, and I really feel as if this needs to be, it's a small little token to give those people who, many of them are long-time residents, long-time serving on council. So I would hope that as a council we could move this together and give those councillors something which they have not been given when they were suddenly found not to be on council. So I do ask all councillors to consider this. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Councillor Willingham. I'm now going to Councillor Turner to speak against the motion. Councillor Cole, sorry, for the motion. Yeah. Councillor Coles.
Basically, yeah, I've concluded exactly what Councillor Williams has said, and there's nothing more that really to add. I do believe she's answered exactly with what I would have gone down the path we can say.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Coles. I'll go to Councillor Turner to speak against the motion.
I'm somewhat surprised by the motion. This hasn't been socialised with the council, or certainly with myself prior to this meeting. We're talking about council members that were dismissed or stepped down in 2018. Is there a precedence for this? Is this a normal council event? Right, okay. I'm not familiar. I've never heard of it. I've never heard, having lived in Hedland for 17 years, I don't recall any sort of reception like that for outgoing councillors. Certainly want to acknowledge the service of those people, and certainly for Councillor McDonald, because as everyone sitting here and as some of our members of the gallery are aware, you know, it is a tough job. We put in significant hours, and we're often placed under significant pressures. So I guess my question would be, if we were to pursue something like that, why wouldn't we then celebrate, or to have include the councils that served for 1 year, and not have them as part of that, rather than focus on the 2018 council that was stepped down? Surely we would be inviting former Councillor Unkovic, former Councillor Bartho, and former Councillor Q-Ning, if that's the precedence that's being set. Okay, because I'm not, you know, this takes us back several years now. So I am, a little uncomfortable. I would have appreciated if this had been socialised with the council before. So I'm not sure that's it's a precedence I'm happy to sort of support.
Point of clarification through the chair, if I may at this point,
Yes.
Perhaps the word civic reception may be the incorrect word. It is actually an in-house civic reception with councillors and staff. It's not actually for the whole public, and I only put this point of number 3 in to be included only because it's part of this actual item number. I really thank you for drawing attention to councillors did not get back onto council in 2020 or last year, and that is something which I think could also be considered also down the track as well, because I think that's really, really important.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gillingham.
Councillor
Through the chair, if this was to be supported, I would expect that the councillors from the last election who didn't return would also be invited. I think that would have to...
Point of order through the chair, please.
Yeah, we can read that minute, yes.
So point of order, bringing back to the point of debate, can we please just ensure that one person has come back to the debate, if we can please. As we all know, one person has a for and against, and then we go from there. Again, happy to amend the motion if that's what we're asking, but can I please just bring us back to the standing orders?
Okay, do you have any other speakers for the motion? Councillor, for the motion, Councillor?
So, again, to this point that we are asking through here, more than happy to support the third motion put forward to have the previous elected members honoured or rewarded in some way, whether it be the wording rechanged. I think too often we linger on the negatives too much and never actually reward those for services done. So I think at any opportunity we get, things in our best interest to do thank everyone involved. So again, for this motion, I do move this one forward.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. Any more against the motion? Okay, that's it. Yep, Councillor Gillingham, would you like to sum up, please?
Thank you through the chair. I thank councillors for speaking their points regarding this item. It's something I have not discussed. It's something that has come to my mind today after really thinking about all the civic in-house receptions that I have been able to be party of over the years. And yes, I think going on to the positives, I think as Councillor Christensen has said, I think it's definitely a positive. We need to recognise these people, whether it's 1 year or whether it's more, because we have a whole list of names on those boards over on the wall there, and it's just an honour to be able to have your name on that board and serve council. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Councillor, thank you for your contribution. I'll now put the motion. Please raise your hand, all those in favour.
Point of clarification, are we voting for the first wording or the one that includes everybody?
1, 2, 3. Recommendations. So Councillor Gillingham's up.
Councillor, just for clarification purposes, Councillor Gillingham has moved items 1 and 2, which are on the agenda before you, and she has added part 3, and you are voting on all 3 items.
That's the officer's recommendation number 1, is that correct?
It's the officer's recommendation 1 with your part 3.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Can I just get a point of clarification on that one there? Are we changing the wording as well to ensure that we put all councillors rather than just also to when the commissioner was appointed? So we're actually ensuring that it's also for the ones that serve for the 1 year plus the ones that have gone through. I'm pretty sure that's what we were. So then can we make an amendment to that one there, please, to ensure that we include the 1 year service plus
Councillors, from an administration point of view, I didn't hear Councillor Gillingham. Councillor Turner raised it in his commentary, but it did not get moved as an additional amendment to point 3. I guess with the permission of the mover and the seconder, that is possible to be amended, but no one has proposed that as far as I've heard.
You'd like to move that forward?
I would like to make the amendment to move forward for that one.
If you move it as an amendment, it becomes a second amendment, and
Yes,
Councillor.
through the chair, I'm happy to add those names from those other councillors that have recently left our council. Yes.
Okay, thank you,
Time
Councillor
of
Gillingham.
service.
Can you
Yeah.
assist us with the wording, councillors?
Thank you.
Of part 3. Would you like to include the words
Previous.
and those councillors who served during 2020? That will probably capture it.
Happy with that?
All councillors clear? With that amended part 3.
Which is going on now.
Just have a-
It is an amendment to the original motion, and we are moving points 1, 2 and 3.
Okay, so all those in favour? Yes, okay. 8-0. Okay, thank you, councillors. Okay, the second officer's recommendation, there's two options. One, that council endorses with section 4.8 of the Local Government Act 1995, hold an extraordinary election within 4 months of February 2nd, 2022, as detailed in the report. Or two, that council endorse this with the section 4.17-3 of the Local Government Act 1995, write to the Electoral Commission and seek approval to allow the position of councillor vacated by Councillor Donna to remain unfilled until the next ordinary election scheduled for October 2023. Can I have a mover, please?
Clarification, thank you.
Yes, Councillor Gillingham.
Yes, I have noticed that the point 1 of recommendation 2, option 1, does actually state that in accordance with section 4.8 of the Local Government Act, hold an extraordinary election within 4 months. This is clearly exactly what the Act says, and I would like to move that the removal of the second recommendation and option 2 to be removed in its entirety, and that only the first option 2 and option 1 is voted on tonight. It clearly states in the Act, and that's my point of clarification. And I'd like to move that.
I see you. Just...
I'm not exactly sure, councillor, in terms of your clarification. There are 2 choices available to council. I guess the option for council is to now consider either option 1 or option 2.
I'd like to move option 1, recommendation 2, option 1. I'd like to move that with the 6 points, please. I guess this is 2 sections. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Okay, can we get a second, please?
Sorry, can I just get clarification?
Sorry, councillor Gillingham is moving recommendation 2, option 1. The first option, which has 6 dot points within it. That's what she's moving.
Good, question second. Mm-hmm. Good. Any against?
Did you want me to? I've moved that option.
You've moved it? Yeah.
Yeah, I've moved it, yeah, thank you.
Okay. Anyone against that motion? Show of hands, please. Good. Councillor Gillingham, got to speak for that motion?
Yes, thank you. It clearly states in the Act, which I actually looked up this afternoon, and I thank anybody in our audience who actually also have done their homework as well. that it states that to hold an extraordinary election within 4 months. This is in fairness to everybody in this town, that we have a democracy that allows us to have an extraordinary election. If we were only having 6 months left of our council, then 4.17.3 would definitely fit the bill, which is in the option 2, to write to the Commissioner. So really that next item does not actually have to be there at all, because it clearly states in the Act, hold an extraordinary election, because we have a councillor who resigned from a position with at least 18 months to run for our council. There's lots and lots of decisions that need to be made over the next few months, and probably over the next 18 months, big decisions. And there is somebody else out there who wants the opportunity, I should imagine, to become a councillor. I would hope so anyway. Several years ago, when we did have an extraordinary election, and I remember it very, very well, there were only 2 people that actually ran for that actually extraordinary election. And of course, only 1 person got through. That person then was actually Penny Taylor, and she actually went on to be a councillor here at the town of Port Hedland. But she also went on to become the mayor of Subiaco because of all the expert training and everything she had. And she'd been born in Port Hedland. So here we have a Port Hedland person that had gone on to other councils. But I just want to really instill in everybody that according to the Act, please councillors around the table, we have to hold an extraordinary election because it's part of the Act 4.8 of the Local Government Act of 1995. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Against that motion, I think the... Oh, second. Yes, sorry. Councillor Christian.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Again, thanks to Councillor Gillingham for her points. I won't reiterate what's already been spoken about, but I will draw our attention to myself being new on this committee myself. I find it hard to understand why we wouldn't want to fill a position when I guess good governance dictates that we have 9. You know that because we actually currently have 9 seats available. So in my eyes, again, if it was a short stint, I would find it hard to justify spend to this extent for such a short stint. However, again, bearing in mind, pending when we do, if we do are lucky enough to elect a member, potentially upwards of 16 to 18 weeks, as has been alluded to before. That's 18 OCM meetings, that's multiple committees that have to be chaired on our behalf. It's a lot of extra workload that comes into play, and I think one of our strengths as a committee currently is the fact that we actually do have a very vast and different seating on the panel of all ages, sexes, upbringings, and I only believe that we will grow stronger if we elect another person. Again, you never know who you're going to get, but again, I can only assume that people that are coming here are going to have good intent. So while I take on board some of the, I guess the beta arguments in relation to funds, I don't think we can, it'd be remiss of us to say no to this in relation to funds. Again, being the fact that yes, it is such a lengthy tenure coming forward. So that's what I've got to say. Thanks for that.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Christensen. Okay. Is anyone against that? I'll vote against that. I think, as a council, I think we're moving very, very well. We're passing things. We have our debates, open debates in council here. We have a mixture of old, young people on council. I don't think there's any reason to go to another election. It's not the money kind of thing, to what it would cost to do it. I think as a council, I think we're approving things, getting things done. We're an active council in the community, and I don't think there's any reason really to have another election, a by-election. That's all. Thank you. Anybody else for? Councillor Turner? Oh.
Yeah, I'll speak. And I'm going to speak for the motion. Originally, my intention was to speak against the motion, believing that we didn't need to have an election. And the reasons for that is that the council has demonstrated both capacity and competency. Some may not agree with that, but despite the frustrations, this council has worked very effectively. But I'm also keen to promote the principles of transparency and principles of accountability. So I could argue, I think, very strongly as to why we shouldn't have an election, but I think the community, based on my discussions, you know, have an expectation that we would move to an election. So that is not a decision that I've come to lightly, and I have thought about this very deeply, both leading up to this and reflecting on some of the conversations. So I'm confident in this council. I'm confident in the decisions that we make, the way we conduct ourselves, and certainly the suggestion that we are somehow protecting ourselves or protecting, that's just, I find that quite offensive. So I'm open to supporting an election. The candidates that nominate, I'm sure will be motivated to strengthen the council, strengthen our community, and I would welcome, you know, the next person that sits on this council.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Turner. Is anyone else against? Okay, I'll put it to the vote. Okay, Councillor Gillingham.
Right on reply to the Chair. No, thank you. I'd like to just say that it's not the dollar factor that we should be looking here. It is our democracy that we vote fairly. People vote in our town. It's very difficult to get people to vote, so it's a postal vote, and I think it's something that has been shown to work very well in our hot weather. As a council, we do need to show transparency with honesty, integrity, and we need to be fair and accountable. And I'm just hoping that we can continue this and work together. So I'd like to thank everybody to consider this item and their points. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. All those in favour, show of hands. Those against? That's just carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. 11.1.5, elected members' representation on external committees. We have 5 officer recommendations before us to appoint a new representative on existing external committees. We'd please like to now nominate for the Port Hedland Port Community Services. This is our councillor. Can I have a mover, please? Oh, yeah, sorry, nomination, sorry, yeah. Anyone on it? No. Councillor Christensen? Anyone else want to nominate for that? No? Just Councillor Christensen? Okay, can I have a mover, please? Move. Councillor Coles, can I have a seconder? Councillor Urquhart, thank you. Are there any questions? Is anyone against that motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. Could we please have a nomination for the Hedland Community Road Safety Group as a proxy? Councillor Coles as a proxy. Okay, no other nominations. Okay. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Bennett. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Urquhart, thank you. Are there any questions? Is anyone against the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. Could we please have nominations for the Kimberley Pilbara Gascoyne Joint Development Assessment Panel as a proxy? Councillor Urquhart. Okay. Can I have any others for that position? No. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Zilke, thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Turner, thank you. Are there any questions? Is there anyone against the motion? As motion opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. Can we please have no motions for the Port Hedland Industry Council Community Industrial Forum as a proxy? Councillor Turner. Okay, no nominations. Okay, Councillor Turner. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Coles, thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Bennett, thank you. Are there any questions? Is anyone against the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. Can we please have a nominee for the Port Hedland Technical Advisory and Consultative Committee as a proxy? Any takers? Councillor Christensen. Okay. Anybody else? Councillors? No. Okay. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Coles, thank you. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Urquhart, thank you. Are there any questions? Is there anyone against the motion? Is there no one against the motion to carry it 8-0? Okay. 11.2.3, Courthouse Gallery Quarter Report, quarter 2nd October to December 2021. I believe we have Councillor Gillingham, Councillor Coles, financial interests. So Councillor Coles, I'll ask you to leave the room, please, for this item. Councillor Gillingham is impartiality. Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Christensen is impartiality. It's fine. And Councillor Bennett also impartiality interest. Thank you, Councillor. Okay. We have an officer's recommendation that Council receives a quarter report for Junction Co for the management of the Courthouse Gallery for the second quarter, October to December 2021. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Zilke, thank you. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Turner, thank you. Are there any questions? Is anyone against the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. Thank you. Can we call Councillor Coles back in, please? Oh, okay. Okay, sorry, so Councillor Coles is to go. Sorry, Councillor Coles, can you step out? Sorry, just going to do another one, sorry, thank you. We have another item which is financially interesting. Yeah. We have impartiality from Councillor. Impartiality from Councillor Christensen.
Through the chair, if I may, just to confirm that we have recorded that as 7-0 as well.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. We have impartiality from Councillor Gillingham, impartiality from Councillor Christensen on item number 11.2.4, and a financial interest from Councillor Coles on 11.2.4. We have three officer recommendations before us. The first one being that Council endorses a 2-year extension of the Porthouse Gallery, Courthouse and Studio Management Contract with the Junction Co. Can I have a mover, please? Move Councillor Turner. Can I have a second, please? Councillor Christensen, thank you. Are there any questions? Is anyone against the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 7-0. The second officer's recommendation that council, 1, endorse the variation of Junction Code contract for the provision of creative activity building incentives in South Headland and other locations external to the Courthouse Gallery Studio as per attachment 1, and 2, pending resolution of point 1, the above further consideration of the town's FY 22-23 budget allocation of $78,000 to the Port Hedland Courthouse Gallery and Studio for its services as outlined in attachment 1. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Turner, thank you. Seconded, Councillor Zilke. Are there any questions? Is anyone against the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 7-0. The third officer's recommendation is that council endorses the variation of Junction Code contract for the joint Town of Port Hedland Courthouse Gallery and Studio feasibility scope for options for the ceramic studio in South Headland. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Turner, thank you. Seconded, Councillor... Councillor Urquhart, thank you. Are there any questions? Is anyone against the motion? As the motion not opposed, I declare it carried 7-0. You may call Councillor Coles back in. Thank you.
Just a point of clarification.
Yes,
noting,
Councillor. Yes.
Just like to offer thanks to the Junction for the amazing work that they are doing in our town, and these are fantastic initiatives which are going to progress ahead for our area. So thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Okay, 11.2.5, repurposing of Marquee Park. We have an officer's recommendation before us that council, that the first being that council, 1, note. Oh, declaration of interest, sorry, we have a impartiality for Councillor Turner on this part, correct? Yeah. Okay, thank you, Councillor Turner. That 1, note the historical maintenance, vandalism, operation issues at Marquee Park. At 2, authorise the officer to proceed with investigations for alternative use of the existing water play site. And 3, in line with already adopted aquatic facility strategy, endorse the relocation of the water playground functions to a managed aquatic facility where support, maintenance and observation is increased. Can I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Move, thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Can I go seconder, please? Councillor Zilke, thank you. Are there any questions? Is anyone against the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 9-0, 8-0. Second officer's recommendation that council for the months of October to April waive fees and charges for all children under the age of 12 subject to facility entry conditions who attend the South Headland Aquatic Centre and Gatwick Centre until the new aquatic facility is operational. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Zilke, thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Bennett, thank you. Are there any questions?
Yes, Mr Chair, I have a question. This,
Yes.
The wording of this presupposes that Gatwick is going to reopen.
Currently, yes. So the staffing, yes. Is there any other questions? Okay. Is anyone against the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. Yeah. 11.3.2, application development approval for workforce accommodation at lot 436 Bailey Retreat in Port Hedland. I have a financial interest from Councillor Zilke. Can you please depart the room, please, Councillor Zilke, while this item is up? Thank you. we have offered a recommendation that council pursuant to clause 682C of the Planning, Development and Local Planning Scheme Regulations 2015 refuses the applicant for the development approval of workforce accommodation at lot 436 Batelands Retreat, Port Hedland, for the reasons outlined in the officer report. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Eckhart. Yes, thank you, Councillor Eckhart. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Bennett. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Just through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Councillor.
Can we, as a council, talk more with this organisation with land, etc.?
Yes, we have.
We just, if we can make sure that those lines of communication do remain open.
Absolutely. Yes, it will. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor.
Through the chair, could I make a comment?
Yes, Councillor.
I propose that if this type of development is to be presented to council, that the business itself needs to come and make the presentation.
Absolutely, yes.
And I'd also make the statement that we as a council are wanting to see both their social impact assessment and their community investment strategy. And that should align with the priorities that we as a council are setting for the community based on the extensive work that we're already doing and have done, and that we are looking for a financial return. You know, we want to see money on the table when they come to town looking for such a large development over such an extended time. I think it's quite remiss of them and others to come to council and make this type of request in the tens of millions and not discuss with us how they're going to invest and build our community in partnership with council.
Okay. Thank you, thank you, Councillor Turner. Your questions? Is anyone against the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-7-0. You can now call Councillor Zuki back in, please. Okay. 11.4 Infrastructure Services. 11.4.1 Award of Tender RFT 2121-15 Completion of the JD Multi-User Courts and Surrounding Construction. We have three offers of recommendations before us. The first being that council amend the FY 2021-22 capital works budget to 1. Increase the JD multi-court user surround projects budget from CIF 117074 by $216,000 from $4,380,000 to $4,596,000, and 2. Fund the above increase from the town's strategic reserve. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Zilke, thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Yeah, thank you, Councillor Turner. Are there any questions? Is anyone against the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. The second offers recommendation that council notes that allocation of $747,000 will be required in the FY 2022-23 capital works budget funded from the town strategic reserve to allow for the completion of the JD multi-court user and surround construction. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Christensen, thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Turner. Are there any questions? Is anyone against the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried 8-0. The third offers a recommendation that council accepts the tender submitted by Tech Services Group in accordance with tender RFT 2122-15, completion of the JD multi-user courts and surround constructions for the total amount of $2,16,221.64, excluding GST. Can I move it, please? Thank you, Councillor Urquhart. Seconder, please. Councillor Zilke, thank you. Are there any questions? Is anyone against the motion? As the motion is not opposed, declare it carried 8-0. Item number 12, reports from communities. There is nil. Item number 13, motions with previous notice have been given. There is nil. Item number 14, new business of urgent item. There is nil. Item number 15, matters of which previously may be closed. Confidential matters. There is nil. Item 16, closure. 16.1, the closure of the date of the next council meeting. Council, this brings us to the end of the council meeting. The next council meeting will be held on the 23rd of March 2022 at 5:30 p.m. 16.2, closure. Being there no further business, I declare the meeting closed at 16 minutes past 7 p.m. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, staff, for joining us tonight. Thank you,